Good afternoon, TB back here at TB's Cabin. I discovered after monetizing that there's certain things we can't do, and I wanted to speak a little bit about that this afternoon. It's Saturday, I have to get my eyes on to see. I don't like my glasses, but they work tolerable. They're just a $2 set of reading glasses from the Bargain Shack, but they work. It's third month, 23rd day of 2013. Alright. Now, yesterday I had uploaded 3 or 4 videos, but I forgot and left the radio on. Well, I don't see how that's stealing anything from the artist. I'm not selling their doggone records or their music or anything like that in the background, but the only thing that I was talking about actually was the darn smart meters. I've still yet got to get an EMF meter to test the radiation levels and see what the heck is really going on about that deal. I saw up on YouTube Mr. Dave's program that said that the smart meters were invading our privacy as well as causing ailments and making us sick, and radiation by causing cancer and other things. And I think he said something about nausea, disorientated or whatever. It causes people to be paranoid, different things after so long can. Well, any electrical magnetic field can make you do that. But for as the radiation, how much level that is, I think probably he's right. Probably any level probably isn't good for us. I need to check that out and see how much, get it checked and see how much radiation level that it is putting out. Because if it's giving a lot of radiation, that could cause cancer and things. We don't know just exactly what it could do to your health. You know, Mom's been sickly for years anyway with all kinds of ailments, but this surely don't help if that's going on. And anyhow, we both use the same electric source, you know, pretty much, and I'm getting ready to change up mine out to solar system. But he also brought up a good point, to be sure that you get a good inverter that is well built so that the EMF levels don't leak out all over you, because even that might let out radiation to you. I'm not sure how it works. I'm going to be contacting Northern Sun and Wind next week and get back to you on it. I'm pretty much interested in solar panels and having a wind charger both. That way you've got 2 sources of power to charge your batteries with. If the sun's not shining, usually at night the wind will blow. You know, if the sun's not shining, your wind power will still be charging your batteries up and keeping it full charge. But we really, most people don't use much electric at night except for lights, I guess. And of course refrigerators, deep freezers are always running. AC in the summer and electrical systems such as your heat and air units that they have in these big houses. I used to have one, central heat and air. I don't have that anymore. We got window unit heat and air units, but I usually use wood because it's cheaper on my bill than running 2 heat and air units. Mom has a heat and air unit in her house. She likes to use it more than I do. I like it in the morning when I'm building my fire, but after I get my fire going, when I have plenty of wood anyhow, I just soon burn firewood because I can get it for free and I've got the time to get it with, you know, cut it at my own leisure, and I've got help to load it and unload it. All it costs me is $10 a load for the old boy to ride along and get the wood. We usually get it free, and sometimes they even pay us to clean out fence rows, you know, to make a few extra bucks, and I put them boys on it and let them clean the fence row, and then we'll load the wood and bring it home if they don't want the wood. But I charge them a fee for cleaning out the fence rows if they don't give me the wood, or sometimes we'll charge them a fee, but a cheaper fee if we get the wood. You know, things like that. Kind of give and take on the trade with the homeowner or farmer, because it is ultimately his place and his wood. whether he'll let you have it or not. I like dead wood preferable, but you know, you can cut them fence rolls out. You don't get a lot of wood that way, but you get some, and you can let it lay up and dry. It's usually what you'll get out of fence rows is usually persimmon. Sometimes it's elm. You know, it's things like that. There's elm, and then you get pine, and sometimes it's pin oaks. You might find some big oaks along the fence line that he may want took out that's dead. And I don't like cutting green wood or anything like that much anyway. I'd rather have dead wood. Two reasons. One, I want the green trees to live as long as they can, because I'm a naturalist about nature. I like to leave things the way I find it. Unless I absolutely have to have it, I don't take it. I try to put back what I take. I've planted trees, them little pine trees by the thousands down here in southeast Oklahoma. I didn't get paid much for it to speak of. I think it was $9 for every 200 trees that you can plant. If you can plant 200 trees in an hour, you can make $9, but it's almost impossible. You can do it, but it's rocky, it's hard ground if you're young and able. Well, I'm not able to do it anymore because my back's totally shot, my knees are shot, and I can't run a shovel anymore. So that's all right for young guys to make some extra quick cash. It's cash money. In the falls, they usually plant them trees. The government pays you to plant so many trees a year. They'll have, but it's just putting back something so there'll be future trees for logs and future pine. The pine is one of the main trees they use in building homes nowadays. Yeah, but mostly they make that old chipwood stuff and that old plyboard crap, which it's cheap, yes, and it works. It makes you a home. I ain't knocking it, but if I had my druthers, I'd rather have solid pine as to have that chipboard. It's your pine, even your bullhead pine, your yellow pine, is all going to be a lot stronger, of course. But it costs more, and there's not a lot of it. So the pressed wood's all right. We use it on the roofing and everything else. That old pressed wood will stay together where that particle board won't. You know, or plyboard will even come apart before that pressed wood will if you get a leak in your roof. I've seen that, but all of it ultimately will rot if you don't. Even if you got good decking out of pine or oak across there. It don't matter if it gets wet and soaked, it will rot it out eventually. Wood and water, just remember, are not friends. They never were and they never will be, in my opinion. That's why so many decks rot off if we don't treat it, and it just causes treated wood, folks. After so long, you've got to go out there and put some Thompson water seal or some type of deck treatment on there to protect that wood. It don't have to be Thompson's water seal necessarily, but it's one of the best ones. There are other brands that's just as good, but find something cheap. If you want your deck to last, you've got to put something on it. Underneath my floors, I use motor oil on the bottom of my wood when I'm building the floor in my house on the seals, or a creosote post under there. Why do I do that? My grandfather taught me well. He said if you want the bugs not to eat on your house, like termites and stuff, treat it with oil. Oil, if you can soak that wood and put oil on it, it's best to set it. Just like when you're putting a post in the ground, if you'll soak that post, timber in oak, or pine or in oil, just any used motor oil, in fact, will help. It ain't a cure-all, but it'll keep it from rotting. And on a wood post, if you'll nail you a tin lid or something over the top of it at the top, that'll keep the water from getting down inside your post and make your post last a lot longer. I built fence for, over 20 years, so I know what I'm doing. I used to contract barbed wire fencing, hog wire fencing, hot wire fencing. I've cleaned fence rows. I've done all types of work like that, contract work, roofing. I ain't able to do no more, but I have done some roofing and only got $6 a square. These boys today get $22 to $24 a square down here in Oklahoma, and maybe more than that in other states. But I'm just saying, that's what they get now to work. Back when I was doing it, back in '86, I only got $6 a square and was darn happy to get it. But I didn't have to pay for nothing. My boss took care of the rest. I mean, he paid for the gas.